Happy 4th of July. Appreciate everyone tuning in with us on this holiday. Hopefully you guys are having a fun, safe holiday. We can add some MLB winners to it. Coming off another winning day on the Monday card. Went 2-1 yesterday, and it's back-to-back winning days there. 6 of the last 8 doing pretty well these past week and a half here. Already one bet out today, John. That game's the game that's already started. Got a nice little 2-0 lead with Cincinnati here. So good start to the holiday so far.
Good start to the 4th. Let's get this first one in. Always nice to get that in. 11:05 start, so by the time you guys see us, you might even know the result. Ben usually gets these up by 1 o'clock. Yep, 2-1 yesterday. Come out of the ashes down 6-0 with the Brewers. Always nice for one of those to go in your favor instead of being on the other end of that. So win that game. Win the Cincy game. That's why we're coming right back with Cincy again. Cincy now, 11 of their last 12 road games they've won. Nationals, 11 of their last 12 road games they lost. And while the kid that's going to pitch for Cincy today, this kid was actually pitching in the Independent League just 2 weeks ago. But I don't know how much worse he can be than Ashcraft and Weaver and the rest of these guys besides Abbott and Green. Going up against Corbin, who threw 7 shutout innings his last time out. Didn't think we were going to get another 7 shutout innings from him. Reds got 2 in the first. So off to a good start. Plenty of baseball left. Just going to the bottom of the first in that one right now. So 2-0. But yeah, as Ben said, another winning day yesterday. At 6 of the last 8 days, one of the days we lost less than a third of a unit. So we've been red hot. This is the time of year, guys. Baseball had to beat the bookie after the All-Star break. Matter of fact, going in, we just may step it up. More 2 and 3 unit bets as opposed to 1 and 2. That's how confident we get at this time of the year. So let's get started, Ben.
Yeah, so Reds game, guys, already know that one's underway. We'll head on into Cardinals at Miami. This is going to be another early start, 1 o'clock Eastern. Waino versus Luzardo. Marlins get the wins yesterday. Cards had won 10 of the prior 12 meetings, but like we said yesterday, it's just a different Cards team right now, different Miami team right now. Wainwright, different pitcher this season. Last 2 starts, 13 runs off 17 hits, absolutely throttled in 4 2/3 versus the Cubs and the Astros. Does own the Marlins throughout his career. Maybe this could be a get-right situation. We'll see. Allowed 1 run and 2 quality starts against them last year. Is 8-2, 2.77 in his career against them. And then you have Luzardo, 4 of his last 5 starts, quality starts, coming off 13.1 shutout innings, been pitching great baseball. Did get reffed up by the Cardinals last year. So similar to what we saw in the pitching splits yesterday, a couple of pitchers going in different directions right now. But as far as the history with the matchup, it favors St. Louis. Can't back Wainwright, not the way he's been throwing, just a different pitcher than the pitcher that's owned the Marlins in the past. And Miami playing good ball right now. Take away that Atlanta sweep, and they're right up there with some of the best teams in baseball. So can't hold that Atlanta sweep against the Marlins. It's them or nobody here, even at this big price.
Yeah, hey, when it's actually tough to let Ben go first because he says everything that I want to say. But anyway, take away that Atlanta series. So the Marlins have won their last 6 games against teams not called the Atlanta Braves, who are just on another planet right now. Braves did it again yesterday. Wainwright unbackable. Last 2 starts banged around again. This guy was great in his day, coming to the end of his career. Luzardo pitching good baseball his last few starts. This is a huge number when at first look. You're looking at 175 to 180 on this game. I don't make it quite that high, but it's high enough. I cannot back Wainwright in this spot. Miami, again, playing good ball, except for that little streak in Atlanta. I'll stay off this one.
Then we have Mets at the D-backs. Mets coming off the win against the Giants Sunday. They won the last 2 there, but they are 3-11 their last 14 road games. Then you have this Arizona team coming in. They won 2 of 3 against the Angels this weekend. Mets did win 4 of 6 meetings last season. Senga versus Davies. Davies coming off a big bounce-back quality start. 7 shutout innings against the Rays prior to that, which is absolutely roughed up. 21 runs in 10 2/3. And then you have Senga, who's been pitching decent. Allowed 2 runs in 5 innings against Milwaukee last time out. He has had some road struggles, 4-4, 4.58 ERA. Still giving him the pitching edge slightly in this game. Davies, though, just since coming back from the IL, few starts under the belt, got roughed up, got his great start against the best team in MLB at the time. We'll see if that's kind of the switch he needed to kind of go right. So D-backs are nobody here at this price. I think Davies is getting a little bit undervalued at this point. We'll see if he can have any type of replication of what he did against Tampa Bay. Just can't lay the Mets as a road favorite, especially with Senga on the mound. I mean, if it was Scherzer, maybe, but Senga can't make them a road favorite here. Davies might be turning forward. So this is D-backs or nobody.
Yeah, D-backs or nobody. It'll be D-backs. I'm just waiting to see if they'll get Carroll back. He missed the last series. Mets got to do more than win a couple of games against the San Fran team that all of a sudden stopped hitting for me to make them a favorite on the road. But Senga, even though Davies has been pitiful up until that last start of 7 shutout innings. We'll wait to see the lineups and where that line goes later. But once again, it's the home team who has the second best record in the National League against a struggling Met team. 3-11 their last 14 road games. I'll take Arizona or nobody. We'll wait for the lineups.
And it's Cubs at Brewers. Brewers, the 8 unanswered last night to come back from the 6-0. We talked about it was one of the winners we had, so it was a nice little hit there. Good pitching matchup today. Hendricks versus Miley. Miley, they've won 7 of his last 9 starts. Last time out, did give up 2 runs in 4 innings, 3 Ks, 3 walks. Not the best. Did have some good numbers against the Cubs in 21. He pitched for them last year for a handful of starts. In 21, went 3-0, 2.40 against them. And then Hendricks, 4 of his 5 June starts were quality starts. He went 3-2, 2.51. 4 starts versus the Brewers last year, not so hot, 0-1, 6.35. So slight pitching edge here to Miley, but Hendricks has been pitching solid. Cubs just can't win right now. I mean, what is it now? They've lost 3 straight. They've dropped 7 of the last 8. Can't back this Cubbies team. Fairly cheap price here for Wade Miley. This is Brewers are nothing for me. Don't want to be back in this Cubbies team, just a fallen knife.
Yeah, that's why we jumped against them yesterday, plus the spot of the late rain delay from Sunday, late night game they traveled. And it showed up. And it showed up for all the teams. So let me just regress a second. Those Sunday night games, those Sunday night teams that then got to travel, watch what happens. So 0 for 3 for yesterday because you had San Fran played the actual Sunday night game. They travel all the way back home, lead into the 9th inning, and then get slapped. They just tire out going down the stretch. Think about a horse race. Off to a great start, and they get caught at the wire. Cubbies jump out 6-0 lead. Milwaukee catches them, beats them in the 8th. And then you had the Guardians, just never had a chance against the Braves. But all 3 teams that played later Sunday, the Cubs and the Guardians, because of that rain delay, Giants Sunday night game. Mets were the other team that played Sunday night, didn't play yesterday. But all 3 of those went down. That's why we kind of follow that trend. Getting back to this game, Cubs are just falling knife, exactly what Ben said. Now they've lost 7 of their last 8. They've lost 3 straight. Brewers have won 5 of 6. Even if you call the pitching matchup even, Brewers have got to be about a 1 1/4 favorite. That's around what they are. I think they're actually a little bit lower than that. I make them a little higher. Not enough to make a play here unless these lines move or there's a lineup change.
Then we have Pirates at Dodgers. Dodgers get the 5-2 win last night. They've split 4 meetings this year, but Pirates have won 7 of the last 10. Pittsburgh, hot and cold. They've now lost 3 straight, scoring 4.3 runs per game, and they're 1-10 their last 11 road games. Meanwhile, this Dodgers team 2-2 their last 4, second best NL home record. Ortiz versus Sheehan. Sheehan, only a great start to his career, had the 2 quality starts, and then his 3rd start at Coors Field, 3 runs in 5 innings, pretty solid outing. And then Ortiz, solid June, went 1-1, 3.94. Last time out, though, gave up 4 runs in 4 2/3 against San Diego. This is pitching as has to be to Sheehan. A couple of young pitchers, and he's had a better start to his career by far. Just a big price for a couple of rookie pitchers. Dodgers playing 500 ball right now. You have this Pittsburgh team, ice cold on the road. That's the only thing that makes you hesitant here. But still, big price would be Pittsburgh or nobody. Dodgers aren't lighting anybody up.
Yeah, the Dodgers are going to have to get something out of these guys, out of these kids. And so far, they've got it from Sheehan. You've got Walker Buehler been on the IL the entire season. Dustin May, IL. Syndergaard, who was just getting absolutely torched anywhere but Dodger Stadium, IL. And now Kershaw goes on the IL. So they're digging the barrel. That's why they brought up Grove at the last minute last night. That's why we bet against them. That was our only loser yesterday. Sheehan, like I said, good. 2 great starts, then go to Colorado, gives up 3 runs. We'll give him a pass for 3 runs. He looks real good, this kid. Here come the Pirates, a team that plays them well. big, huge number. Right now, you're sitting at 230. We're definitely taking the dog. Just a matter how much we're betting, how high the line goes. This line opened 200 and is up to 225, 230. So as I said, guys, we're waiting to see where the line goes to. That's when we'll hit it. We'll be on the Pirates on this one. McCutchen sat out last night. That was a rest day. Expect him to come back. Pirates are nobody.
Then we have Yankees and O's, another one of these early games. You have Gibson versus Schmidt in this one, pitching matchup. Yanks get the win last night. They split 4 meetings in New York this year. It's Gibson was crushed last 2 starts, 11 runs and 7 2/3 versus the Reds and Mariners. He did have 7 shutout innings versus the Yanks earlier this year. And then Schmidt coming off a pretty solid June at 1-1, 3.04. Last time out, 3 runs and 5 1/3 at Oakland. They won that game. 2 starts versus the Orioles, 5 runs and 8 1/3. Nothing special there. So pitching edge, got to go to Gibson here in this spot. Nothing too drastic, though, especially with the way he's been going lately. Team edge, though, Yankees ironically hitting a little bit better right now, and that's how bad their lineup is. O's just not getting it done offensively, hitting 190 this week, still no Hayes. Really tough there. It's Orioles or nobody with the pitching edge here on this spot. Just tough to back this team not scoring. So going to have to get it done more so with the bats today. Baltimore or nobody. We'll see if they can flip on the offense.
Yeah, no. Orioles batting 190, as Ben said, through their last 6 games, scoring just 2.33 runs a game. They'll be missing their leading hitter, the 7th leading hitter in baseball, Hayes. I don't give Gibson the pitching advantage in this one. He's absolutely been slaughtered his last 2. Schmidt doesn't go deep in the game, but he kind of keeps them in the game. Been pitched to a 3.04 ERA in June. Don't like the Yankees in this one, but I just can't find a reason to bet Baltimore with Gibson on the mound and Hayes out of the lineup.
There's Rangers at Boston. Rangers, what a gross game last night. Down 10-2. They tied up just to blow it. Lose 12-11 to the Stros in a crazy game. They've now lost 7 of their last 10 here. This Red Sox team, they sweep the Blue Jays, and that's just a matchup that completely flipped. They went from Blue Jays own in Boston to now Boston owns them. They won every meeting this year, and Red Sox have success against Texas. They won 6 of 7 meetings last year, 6 of the last 7 in Boston. Dunning here versus a bullpen game. Dunning has to have the pitching advantage. He just keeps going. 3 straight quality starts, allowed 2 runs in each. And he's a pitcher. We've talked about it a lot, having a career year. Last year against Boston, horrible, 10 runs and 9 2/3. So kind of similar to St. Louis, where they own the Marlins. Take it with a grain of salt. A bit different of a team with Dunning here. It's hard to get a read on that because he is looking like a different pitcher this year. How much truth is there to that? Now going into a very hitter-friendly ballpark, going to be a tough spot. Texas or nobody, but I mean, man, this Rangers team ice cold right now. Don't want to be backing a Boston bullpen game, but man, Texas cold. Dunning, bad history there is going to keep me off this game.
Yeah, man, Texas is killing a bit. After coming back 10-2, going ahead 11-10, they've got to win that game. They let that one get away from them. That's got to be a tough trip to Boston. This is a game open to pick them. It's up to 120 now, Texas. And that would be the right number, and I would have laid Texas. Dunning definitely over a Red Sox bullpen game. A problem here is you got some rain up in the forecast in Boston. There's some question whether this game will even come off or not. You don't want to have the better pitcher when the Red Sox are using a bullpen game anyway, because that's your 15-20 cents that you're getting. Now, if you lose them because of a rain delay, anyway, Dunning, tremendous pitching advantage. He's been pitching good. Just don't want to have that. Don't want to have this Ranger team right now as they're gagging up that first place lead to Houston. Red Sox maybe getting a little hot, winning 3 in a row with Toronto. I made the number higher. Texas 120 is what I made it at Pick'em. I could have laid it, but for the reasons with the rain and everything else, I didn't. That's what it's at now. We'll sit off this game. Yoshida back for Boston. He missed the last game. Duvall still sits out for the Red Sox. And Jonah Heim will be out for Texas. He'll get a day of rest.
Then it's KC at Minnesota, another big favorite. And I think it's worth a look here at the big favorite with the Twins today. Greinke versus Maeda. Greinke coming off a quality start, but he did give up 11 hits in those 6 innings. Only 2 runs allowed, though. You guys know the story with him. Road struggles. He's 0-5, 7.04 on the road. and Minnesota owns him. Gave up 7 runs versus them earlier this year. Last year against them went 0-4, 4.07. Twins just own this matchup in general. They've won 7 of 8 meetings this year, 11 of the last 12 in Minnesota. Maeda, 2 starts back, has been solid, 2 runs in 10 innings versus the Braves and the Tigers. This is pitching edge to the Twins, matchup ownership to the Twins. Touched on it yesterday. Braves playing the Guardians right now. They have to take advantage of that. They did in game 1. I imagine they do in game 2. This is Twins or nobody on the run line.
Exactly what Ben said. Exactly what Ben said. Not going with Greinke on the road. Minnesota crushes Greinke. They beat KC. They want to get W's. Paired that lead up against Cleveland while Cleveland's got to face the Braves. This line is 180, 185, 190, and it belongs to be that high.
And it's A's at Detroit. Actually, not a bad spot for Oakland today. It's Sears versus Skewball. Skewball going to be making his first start this season. He had 5 rehab outings. The last couple were decent. Then you have 2 starts versus the A's last year. He was terrific. 1 unearned run in 13 innings. And then Sears, Yankees roughed him up last time out for 7 runs and 4 innings. He is 0-3, 5.50 in his last 3 starts. So he hasn't been pitching well. Detroit could be the chicken soup he needs to kind of get back on track a little bit. A's just kind of owned this matchup. 11 of the last 14 meetings, 6 of the last 7 at Detroit. They won 2 of 3 against that White Sox series. Their bats were going there. They went 3-3 in that homestand overall. Meanwhile, Detroit, they're returning back from a 4-3 chip. A couple of teams playing well, a couple of pitchers, rough spots. We'll see if Sears gets going here. This is dog or nobody in Oakland. Could be worth a look at the over with this pitching matchup. Both these teams coming off series where they're playing other bottom 5, bottom 6 teams in Colorado and the White Sox. And bats were going in those matchups. I imagine the bats continue here. So looking at the over and looking at Oakland in this matchup.
I can see why you want to look at Oakland, and then I can see why you don't. All of a sudden, Detroit 10-7, their last 17, playing some good baseball. Oakland will win a couple of games and then go lose 7-8 straight. Skubal, don't expect much from him today. His longest rehab outing was 4 innings, so you won't see him past the 5th inning. For that reason, you'll look more towards Oakland, but I think the number's right there. We'll pass on this one.
Blue Jays at White Sox. Blue Jays own this matchup a little bit. They've won 7 of the last 9 meetings. They're coming off getting swept by Boston. And then White Sox, they're returning from 3-4 trip. They dropped 2 of 3 at Oakland. Going to be Bassett versus Giolito. Pretty good pitching matchup. Bassett coming off 6 shutout innings against the Giants. Prior to that, though, 17 runs and 11 2/3 and 3 prior starts. He was struggling there. Did have a quality start versus the White Sox earlier in April. And then Giolito coming off a massive June, 2-1, 2.32 in 5 starts. Jays did rough him up last year, 13 runs, 19 hits and 9 2/3. Has had some good home numbers, 2.36 ERA. This Toronto team goes ice cold against Boston. This is a matchup they own. Maybe they'll get right. Bassett, we'll see if he can kind of get back on track. That 1 start looking good. Let's see if he can carry it over. I can't back a White Sox team at this price. You just lost 2 of 3 at Oakland. If you're Toronto, we talk about it all the time. AL East got to beat up on the AL Central. There's an opportunity to do so. So looks like a get-right spot for Bassett. Looks like a get-right spot for Toronto as a whole. Would be a slight lean here to the Blue Jays. White Sox, though, just with Giolito on them out keeping me off. So Blue Jays are nobody. Just a weird game to get a read on, though, for me. Yeah,
Toronto's just not getting it done. They could not get swept. They could not allow the Red Sox to sweep them at home, and they did. Bassett, real good game his last time out before that getting hit. Not good on the road. Giolito, real good June. And although the Blue Jays crushed him last year, he's been great at home. Would be home dog. But I've got to get a bigger number on this one. I expect everybody to be in the lineup today. They both had an off day yesterday. We'll see what happens there with the line and the lineups as this game goes later on.
And it's Seattle at San Francisco. Mariners, they put up 4 in the 9th last night. They win that 6-5. Giants answered with 3 runs in the bottom half, just couldn't tie it up. They've now won 3 of the last 4 meetings. Seattle, they've won 3 straight, scoring 7 runs per game. Bats getting going. Giants lost 5 of 6. You're looking at hot versus cold here. Gilbert on the mound, 4 runs in 6 innings, and a loss to the Nats. Prior to that, had a quality start versus the O's. And then you have Wynn going. He had his good first career start, 2 runs in 6 innings and a loss at Toronto. This is a The Mariners are nobody. Giants kind of just fell off a cliff. They had that nice little stretch there. It looked like they might be competing in the West, and they kind of fell off big time. This is Seattle team playing decent ball heading into the break right now. 3 straight. We'll see if they can make it 4. They had the pitching edge today. Would be Mariners or nobody for me, John.
Yes, San Fran dropped 5 of 6 now, scoring 2.83 runs a game, batting under 200 in those last 6. They lose Estrada. He's been placed on the IL last night. They get Yastrzemski back. They got Conforto back in the lineup today. Gilbert, hot or cold. It depends which Gilbert you get. But take the entire month of June, 2-2, 4.45. But again, he's hot or he's cold. Wynn gave the Giants a decent outing his last time out. His first career start, allows 2 runs in 6 innings, but he loses 2-1 at Toronto. This game is a pick'em game to me. So right now, with the price, basically pick or as high as the Mariners 110. We'll wait to see where this line goes later in the day. It's a 4:35 game, or who sits out. This is a day game after the night game last night. Nobody yet though in this one.
Then it's going to be Rockies at Astros. Interesting game here. Everything about this game says Astros to me, except for the letdown spot against Texas and the price on this game. Monster price. You have Freeland on the mound. Last 2 starts, 10 runs in 10 innings. He's been struggling. He has road struggles, 1-6, 5.92. Belak, he's been struggling his last 2 for Houston. 10 runs, 3 homers, and 9 2/3. 2 pitchers really not going well right now. Houston, though, they've heated up. They've won 5 of 6. They get things going in that Rangers series. A little bit of a letdown factor now coming off the Rangers series, coming off that massive 12-11 win last night. Hectic game there. They have owned this matchup a little bit. They haven't met since 21, but they've won the last 7 meetings in Houston. This Rockies team, you guys know the story with them. NL worst, 13-29 on the road. So it's a weird game. Astros coming off a big series, definitely a letdown factor. Freeland, so Rockies ace in quotes by name, essentially. This is a tough matchup here. The dog or nobody with the spot and everything else. Question is, can Astros just keep it rolling here, winning 5 of 6? They did all that work against Texas to catch up in the standings. Can they keep doing it here, beating up on Colorado?
Can you say letdown? I mean, this is just a letdown spot. So Houston rolls, not playing great ball, win 2 games against St. Louis, roll into Texas. The team that's ahead of them takes 3 of 4, now only back 3 games. Great job. And yesterday's insane game. They got a 10-2 lead. They blow the lead. They come back and win it. This is an absolute letdown against the worst team in the National League, worst road record in the National League. But for lack of a better word, Freeland is the Rocky ace. He'll be going up against Belak, who's a spot starter at best for a Houston team that's got just, it seems, all of their starting pitches basically on the IL. Letdown spot, huge number. I'm going to be taking the Rockies. We'll just see how high this number goes. Could have took 170 on the overnight. We're as high as 176 at Bet Online right now. I'll be on the Rockies. Just depends on when we pull the trigger.
And Philly's at Tampa Bay. Philly coming off losing 2 of 3 against the Nats, but they're 5-2 their last 7. And then the Rays, they're returning from this trip. They dropped the last 2 in that series at Seattle, but they are the league best, 34-10 at home. They have won the last 7 meetings. Nola versus Eflin. Eflin spent start of his career in Philly. This will be his first time against them, so that's always a weird read, but he has just been excellent at home. 8 starts, 8-0, 2.17 ERA. And then in Nola, he was decent in June, 3-1, 4.06 ERA. Gave up 4 runs in 5 innings last time out. Does have some road struggles, though, 4-3, 5.34 ERA on the road. Pitching edge has to go to Eflin here. The way he's been at home this year is absolutely dominant. Tampa Bay at home, you guys know the story there. Not a road dog I'm interested in today. A little bit cheaper. Could be interested in this price for Tampa Bay, but need a little cheaper.
Exactly, Ben. You learn. Ben. You learn. Look, Philly's still not even a 500 team on the road. Tampa Bay still by far the best home team. Eflin great at home. Nola not so good on the road. This is a cheap price right now. If it gets a little cheaper, I'll be on the Rays.
And you have Angels at Padres. Padres, Big 10-3 win last night to get things going. Angels ice cold right now. They've lost 5 of 6. Trout gets hurt on a non-contact at bat, just swinging the bat. That's the biggest concern there. So probably not going to be playing tonight. This is all on track for the Angels, year in, year out story. A great start. Now you're coming into this time of year, end of the first half, lose 5 of 6. Mike Trout gets hurt. So everything's on track for the Angels there. It is Ohtani versus Musgrove today. Ohtani, 3 straight quality starts, 4 runs in 19 and a third. Musgrove, 5 of his 6 June starts, quality starts. Both pitchers going well right now. Soto with the statements yesterday, if you guys saw that, talking about how, Ohtani's special, but he's not going to be special against our lineup. Might be eating his words on that one. The San Diego lineup's not one I'd be putting my mouth in front of right now. So we'll see what happens here. This is Angels to nothing to me, as bad as they've been, as bad as the Padres been. Just looking at this pitching matchup, got to take the dog in a battle of aces.
Yeah, this is probably the pitching matchup of the day. Musgrove's been really good in his last 5 or 6 starts. 5 of the 6 were quality starts in June. 4-0, 2.25 ERA. Throw those first few starts out. He was coming back off the IL. He pitched in Mexico City. Take those numbers out of the equation. Musgrove looks like he's back to where he was last year. Ohtani is Ohtani. As Ben said, Trout won't be in there. He might even be on the IL by the end of the day. All of a sudden, Angels doing what the Angels do. They've now lost 5 of 6, scoring just 2.75 runs a game. Could only be interested, though, in the Angels if this number's to go a little higher without Trout. We'll see how that game goes. Right now, we're looking at about $1.30 on the game. If it gets up there a little higher, be Angels. Not interested in San Diego, who's it seems like they win once, twice a week. Maybe this is it, but I'll take the price against them with Ohtani on the mound, even without Trout, as long as it goes high enough.
Yeah, Trout's been sitting out a couple of Ohtani's last starts already. Obviously, those are rest days. This is injury, so a bit different reasons to sit out, but they've been giving him the off day with Ohtani on the mound anyways. We'll see if there's any norm there. And then last game on the card, Braves at Cleveland. The pitching edge, just, first glance, you got to go Cleveland here, but you can't go against Atlanta. 9 straight, 16-1 their last 17, leading the league in pretty much everything. You have this Guardians team now dropping 3 of 5. Allard versus Bieber. Bieber coming off a quality start, 6 shutout innings versus Kansas City. Been great at home this year, 4-2, 2.5, 1 in 7 starts. Allard coming off his first start this year. He threw 4.2 shutout innings against the Twins. This is pitching edge to Bieber, but just a team edge like none other to Atlanta. You can't really go against the Braves. So tempting to do it with Bieber, but can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you stick on the mound right now. About a week or so ago, Twins went in there with Ryan, who had just come off a complete game, shelled. Yuri Perez goes in there the other day, had a 0.27 ERA last 6 starts. He got 1 out before Braves scored 6 runs. This team's a machine right now. Stay out of their way. On top of that, Josh Naylor leads the team in homers and 295 batting average. He got pulled out of the game last night. He'll be questionable. Not jumping in front of the Braves. Not with Bieber pitching. Maybe not with Bob Feller pitching.
Yeah, Braves absolutely unreal. We'll see if they can keep this pace on into the All-Star break. Feels like they will. That's the 4th of July card, guys. Pretty quick breakdown of the slate today for the holiday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it, staying safe. If you guys aren't yet, go to the How to Beat the Bookie website or the app, download that, get all this information here. A lot of day games, a lot of lineups coming out. And then tomorrow, especially with lineups and everything else, going to be interesting to see who's in, who's out, who gets that day off. Sunday, Tuesday, day games, everything's mixing up. So make sure you guys sign up for that. John, red hot right now. 6 of the last 8 winning. We'll call it 6-1-1, like you said yesterday. That one day was a push, so it's running hot. Hopefully we can keep it hot.
This is the time of the year, guys, and then after the All-Star break, I expect to crush it as I do every year. Like I says, we'll probably start taking the units up instead of 1 and 2 to 2 and 3 units per bet. Let's go. Let's get moving.
Yep, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's make some money, John.
Let's make some money.